A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant legal development, France's highest court, the Court of Cassation, has annulled an arrest warrant issued against former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. This ruling, delivered on July 25, 2025, is part of an ongoing investigation into the deadly chemical attacks that occurred during the Syrian civil war in 2013. The court determined that there were no exceptions to presidential immunity, even in cases involving alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. Despite this ruling, the presiding judge, Christophe Soulard, indicated that since Assad is no longer president following his ouster by an Islamist-led group in December 2024, new arrest warrants could still be issued against him, allowing the investigation to continue. The arrest warrant against Assad had been issued in November 2023, following allegations of his involvement in the chain of command during a sarin gas attack that resulted in the deaths of over 1,000 individuals in Adra and Doma, near Damascus. Human rights advocates had hoped that the court would set a precedent by ruling that presidential immunity should not apply in cases of severe allegations such as these. However, the court's decision has been interpreted as a setback in the pursuit of accountability for war crimes. Assad's complicity in war crimes and crimes against humanity was heavily scrutinized during the investigation, which utilized testimonies from survivors, military defectors, and various forms of evidence, including photographs and video footage. The French judiciary invoked the principle of universal jurisdiction, allowing for prosecution of serious crimes committed abroad. Despite the initial warrant and subsequent appeals, the French judiciary ultimately sided with the argument presented by public prosecutors that Assad should be granted immunity as a head of state. This ruling has sparked outrage among human rights advocates, who view it as a missed opportunity to hold leaders accountable for grave offenses against their populations. Mariana Pena, a senior legal counsel with the Open Society Justice Initiative, expressed disappointment at the court's failure to make an exception for leaders accused of the most serious crimes. Nevertheless, she affirmed that the campaign to bring Assad to justice would persist. The international arrest warrant was primarily based on two chemical weapons attacks in Syria. The first in August 2013, which involved the use of sarin gas and killed over 1,000 people, and the second in April 2018, which injured 450 individuals in Adra and Doma. The case was brought forward by civil parties, including survivors of the attacks and various human rights organizations. Assad and his family reportedly fled to Russia after being ousted from power, and the situation in Syria remains volatile as the civil war continues to unfold. The ruling has also raised questions about the effectiveness of international law in holding leaders accountable for their actions during conflicts. As the Syrian civil war began with protests and pro-democracy rallies in 2011, it has escalated into a conflict that has resulted in the deaths of an estimated 610,000 people. The international community remains divided on how to approach the issue of accountability for war crimes, particularly when it involves leaders who have held significant power. In conclusion, the annulment of the arrest warrant against Bashar al-Assad by France's Court of Cassation highlights the complexities surrounding international law, presidential immunity, and the pursuit of justice for war crimes. While the ruling may have provided temporary relief for Assad, it has also invigorated the efforts of human rights advocates who continue to seek accountability for the atrocities committed during the Syrian civil war. The future of the investigation remains uncertain, but the quest for justice is far from over. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.